Listen guys, here's the deal. I didn't know there was another Mockingjay Part 2 trailer. Honestly, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself. I'll go ahead and put that out there. This doesn't happen to me. I don't normally not know when there's like a trailer out or whatever. It's certainly a first for me. But for those of you lovely people who pointed it out for me on Twitter, thank you. Thanks for all the twittering. Which means just the best news ever. The last Mockingjay Part 2 trailer reaction was not, after all, my final Mockingjay Part 2 trailer reaction. Well, it's the best news ever, but it's also very sad news, because now I have to do my very last Hunger Games trailer reaction ever. And this time I'm pretty dang certain that's what it is. Unless they pump out another one, and then I'll be happy again, and then sad again, and then it's just a vicious cycle. But if we end it here, at least, you know, my aching heart can rest for a little bit, at least until November, until I see the movie and it just bursts open. Think of a really graphic, just tears, blood everywhere, oh gosh. Oh. Just being a fangirl things. Oh, on another sad note, this is the last time I will be filming in this apartment. I really am sad about that. It's really nice to kind of have this space to do things at, and I'm excited to move, and you know, it's exciting to like go on to new adventures and do new things and be in new places, and that part I'm really excited for. I'm a little worried about making this work, so if it takes me a few weeks, kind of bear with me. It's not easy to find like a good place to film. I don't know. Not that I'm incredibly picky, like my lighting is literally, I put a book light on a couple books and I kind of bend it at my face and I'm like, that works. Cause I'm fancy. So anyway, for whatever reason you're sad, whether or not it's me moving, which I don't know why that would make you sad, or this being our final Hunger Games trailer reaction together, it's okay. We can get through this. For those of you who haven't been watching my videos for long, and you know, hi, welcome. There's a reason why this is kind of a big deal. Why this being my final Hunger Games trailer reaction is kind of big for me and possibly, you know, you or other people as viewers. It's sad for me because a lot of people joined me on this YouTubing journey because of the Hunger Games, so I'm kind of saying farewell to that really cool middle friend that brings other friends together, you know? It's sad. It is really sad saying goodbye to the Hunger Games, and it's really sad saying goodbye to any series that you love, honestly. First you gotta do when the books end, and you're like, oh my gosh, my life is over. It's never going to feel as bad as it does right now. And then you gotta say goodbye to the movies, and it's like, oh my gosh, my life is over. It's never gonna feel as bad as it does right now. Which probably says something about people who read a lot. Blinds are making me look like I'm in film noir. I'm putting it off because I really don't want to do it. It makes me sad.
I've been watching you, and you watching me. My dear Miss Everything, make no mistake, the game is coming to its end.
Lawrence is so beautiful.
First time in our lifetimes we're standing together with 13 districts. Our future starts tomorrow at dawn, when we march together into the capital. To slow our advance, President Snow is building a minefield of traps. The sadistic inventions of game makers meant to make sport of our deaths.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 76th Hunger Games.
One opportunity.
Let's make it count.
Mom spaghetti.
Nothing good is safe while he's alive. Snow has to pay for what he's done.
Our lives were never ours. They belong to Snow. Our debts do too. What if you kill him, Katniss? If you end all of this, all those debts, they mean something.
Tonight, turn your weapons
of you who watch my videos, you well know this by now. But this part of Mockingjay is my favorite part of Mockingjay, so I'm really, really excited. It looks like, kind of like what they've done with the other Hunger Games movies. They've kind of amped it up a little bit. They've made the script a little less Katniss-centric and a little more action-y, exciting-y, which doesn't really bother me because they've stayed true to the heart of the book, which is the most important thing ever to me. So rather than everything feeling, you know, kind of empty and just lifeless, this has heart. There's more going on here beyond the action. The action is just to kind of amp things up a little bit. It's kind of hard to stick with Katniss like you do in the books and also keep things exciting. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, where do I even start? Oh, there's so many good things that happen in this book. Oh, Finnick's wedding. Awesome. The lizard people that ruin everything. You know what would be great? I wouldn't be adverse to this version if they kept certain people alive. Like, I'm not even just saying that. I would be 100% okay with certain people staying alive. Please, please, please keep that certain person alive. Please, I beg of you, just don't do this to me again. Don't do it to me again. I don't want it to happen to me again. Anywho, so there's a lot of really, really, really good vibes that I'm getting from this trailer here. I mean, so far I have not been disappointed by a single movie. Honestly, like, when I talk about, you know, book to movie adaptations, The Hunger Games is normally what I point to, because yes, things are different. Things are definitely different, things have definitely been changed, but not for the sake of being cool and different, but for the sake of putting things in the proper format. It's not easy to put a book into a movie format. I can't imagine anyway. Like, this is a really, really good example of doing it the right way. Percy Jackson is a really, really, really good example of screwing things up just as badly as you possibly can. Like, the movie changes make sense to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand the, you know, omission of some of the stuff like the Avoxes and those two people at the beginning of Catching Fire, and I do understand, like, getting rid of the mayor and his daughter. Like, okay, like, it sucks, but I do get it. Like, I understand for the, you know, sake of time. Nobody wants to watch Katniss fumble around looking for water for 3 days. It's just, no, it's fine. I understand that. However, once you make a 12-year-old 20, it's like, why? Because there's no excuse, right? But this makes sense to me. And so that's where the good vibes are coming from. It's coming from past experience. So far, I haven't been disappointed, and I doubt this is going to be the one that disappoints me, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm wondering how they're gonna do this. Because by putting this in 2 parts, they kind of took, let's just go ahead and call it what it is, the boring part of Mockingjay, and put it all in one movie. But now they've got this entire race to the Capitol, which, as far as I remember, is pretty much all that's left. So are they going to make this last 2 hours, or is there something I'm missing? There's some really good scenes, I feel like between Joanna and Katniss, Peeta, obviously, getting over his craziness, and Gale and whatnot. I'm just wondering, you know, how they're going to balance time here, because they can't have the entire movie be this, can they? I mean, I guess they could. I don't know. That's another thing I'm excited for, by the way, is one of the best parts about Mockingjay is, you know, you talk to people and they're just like, I hate that people died, it was pointless, and it's like, okay, but you need to understand this in the way that Suzanne Collins was writing this, which is that, yes, pointless deaths happen when this kind of stuff happens. In a war, in a revolution, people die. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a main character. It doesn't matter if you're the mainest of main characters. It doesn't matter. And yeah, some of those rules kind of don't apply to novels. Like, for instance, you could make an argument, and people do, that you can't really kill off main characters. Katniss, for example. You wouldn't be able to kill off Katniss because she's telling the story. And yeah, there are some literary rules surrounding that, because that's the format of a novel, blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on. But I mean, like, important secondary characters or whatever. The I'm not in English class. Anyway, Suzanne Collins was making the point that this is what happens when revolutions, when war gets messy. People die. People die, and good people become bad, and bad people become good, and there's PTSD and anxiety, and people are still people. That's why when people are like, oh, Katniss is so whiny in Mockingjay, I'm just like, did you read the first 2 books? Were you there for all the weird, scary, horrifying stuff she had to put up with? Like, I wouldn't even be this stable. I'd be like in a cell somewhere, rocking back and forth, chanting, you know, seeing visions of blood and horror. Like, seriously, this is important. This is important representation of PTSD and just anxiety and just the horrible, horrible things that go with war and revolutions. It's just the fact of it all. There was a point to this. Oh yeah, PETA. That was the point. That's something I'm looking forward to. I look forward to PETA regaining himself. It was something that I felt was done really, really well, and because for the first time ever, we're seeing even a somewhat negative side of PETA, who throughout all this has been just a wonderful person. I really like PETA. Suzanne Collins managed to make him, he's not one-dimensional, he's not like a cardboard cutout of a character, he's just a genuinely good person who is optimistic, and he tries to remain positive, and he tries to do the best that he can. I don't understand when people don't like PETA. I don't know. That says something. Do you not like happy people in real life? I don't understand. There's a difference between PETA and Katniss, you know. PETA is definitely less of a pessimist. He clings to his, you know, optimistic attitude. He clings to his positivity. That's all he has. That's what he clings to. Whereas Katniss clings to family, I would say. Primrose, her mother to an extent, Gale. That she's a clinger. She picks people and this is my person that I fight for. Well, PETA is fighting for his positivity, his hope. That's what he has, and that's why Katniss is so attracted to him, is because that's something I don't have that you have, that I really admire about you, you know. I like that. I like that, and I really, really hope they capture that, because that's really important to me as a reader. Another thing that I'm really hoping they get into a little bit more is, well, just the entirety of Coin's story. They built up pretty well with what's going to happen with her, but the crazy thing about Coin is you can actually make an argument on whether or not she's a good person. She was never meant to be a one-sided character, and I think that she was always meant to be an object of criticism, because she reflects so many people, the good and the bad. She reflects Snow, she reflects Katniss, she reflects Gale, she reflects the revolution, but she reflects the revolution, but she also reflects the government that caused this revolution to happen. So, you know, it's an interesting political critique if you really want to get into that. I'm not feeling it. But also, it's just a really, really, really interesting character to put forth, and a really interesting decision from Suzanne Collins, who could have just as easily put forth a one-dimensional villain and call it a day, you know, beyond Snow, of course. So, I really hope they hold on to that, because there's something really, really powerful in a couple moments with Coin. The first being when she is talking about the Hunger Games and how she wants to create a new Hunger Games, but with capital citizens and Coin's own granddaughters. Oh, I'm sorry, Snow's own granddaughters. And it's interesting to me because everybody who's agreeing with her, like, oh yeah, let's get them back. And PETA's like, what the heck did we do all this for? So many people have died, you guys. So many people. Seriously, we're gonna make another Hunger Games? Like, PETA, light of my life, voice of reason, love you. Anyway, that's a really interesting moment. Pay attention next time. If you reread, pay attention to how people respond to that suggestion. Again, there's a lot of actually critique here about, you know, political propaganda and how people respond to certain, you know, words and certain phrases and certain ideas and why and how they got to that point. Really interesting stuff. I definitely encourage that you reread Mockingjay from kind of a political standpoint. But anyway, that's a really, really good part, and they need to keep that in there because that is just so important in Coin's character and Katniss's and Peeta's. It's a very important moment. And then there's another very powerful moment, and they have to have it in the movie, but I'm more worried that they're going to make it they're gonna undermine it with the coming moments after or the moments before it, and they need to understand this is a very important, powerful moment. It's meant to say something, which is when, spoilers, just so you know, it's when Katniss shoots Coin instead of Snow. That's pretty interesting, because it's like Katniss stopping Coin before she can become Snow, basically. It's a really, really, really freaking crazy intense part. But also, it just says a lot about this story. It's really important. Please make it important, because it is important. Okay? And also, there's... oh, man, Gale. Man, Gale, you're about to be tossed through the character shredder, man. Whew. Well, okay, so it wasn't Gale's fault, but Gale makes some pretty stupid decisions. I don't know if they're gonna keep that stuff. They've made Gale decently likable, comparatively. Some people disagree with me, actually. Some people think Gale's a lot more likable in the books. I could not disagree more. Gale drove me crazy in Mockingjay. He drove me crazy. I was like, where is your brain right now? Like, are you seriously worried about this when this is happening? And then, like, every time he and Katniss is alone, he's just like, hey, so anyway, do you like me now? And it's like, can you just, like, go over there and, like, stop being Gale for, like, just a few minutes. Go that way. And I don't know. Maybe that's just me. People disagree, but Gale, oh man, Gale drove me crazy. Drove me crazy. Anyway, Joanna would be another great thing. I don't know. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff. It was a really good idea to put it in 2 parts. I know that's also another unpopular opinion, but I mean, man, so much happens in this book, and just the fact that they were able to split it into 2 parts without really taking anything out, that should tell you something, you know? They're not adding a bunch of stuff, really. They're kind of just, they're putting it together really well, and I'm happy they did this. This was a good idea. Gosh, this is the end of something really, really good. It feels good, you know. The Hunger Games is such an amazing series, and the books and the movies are so wonderful and so influential to, you know, my generation, the generation before me, the generation after me. It's affected so many people, and it's gonna be so crazy to see it all end. Seriously, like, man, it's like, I mean, okay, nothing really compares to Harry Potter in terms of, like, size. Harry Potter is just a massive series with a massive fan base and blah, blah, blah. But every time something like this happens, it just reminds me on how crazy just the phenomena of the novel is and just how much it affects people. This came because one person had a story to tell, and that's pretty incredible. That's incredible to me. That's a testament of just creativity and how far you can go with it, and how you can touch people's lives, and how you can communicate through things like this, how effective a communication tool a story is. Anyway, I could go on and on, but overall, pretty dang excited. I have faith because, like I said before, I have seen good filmmaking. That's what I've seen from them, so I trust them. It feels sad, huh? But at the same time, it feels good. It feels good to be there with something from beginning to end, you know? And I'm excited. I have hope. Anyway, before I start crying, I just want to give a shout out to my friends at Audible, who I'm currently working with, because I love books and I love audiobooks. They are the leading provider of audiobooks with over 180,000 titles to choose from. It's great for long road trips, running at the gym, for sitting at the gym and pretending you're stretching and pretending you're working out. The reason I'm telling you this is because right now, if you go to audible.com/CastJ, again, that is audible.com/CastJ, then you get a free trial, and you can also download an audiobook for free. Any one of your choosing. Free. Did I say free? It's free. You can do whatever you want, but in my opinion, you could either get the Mockingjay audiobook. See what I'm doing there? Because this is a Mockingjay trailer reaction, and then, right? Which is always a good time. Or you can do The Heir of Fire by Sarah Moss, because I'm going to be finishing reading it and reviewing it soon, and then we can all be a happy family and know what each other is talking about. Or You could listen to the audiobook I'm listening to right now, which is Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. It's the first in the Wheel of Time series, which is one of the most famous high fantasy series around. And I am very deeply considering doing just a book review for every single one of these 1,800-page books. They're huge. So that's why I've been listening to them on audiobook while I go to the gym, and we had a long road trip, like I said earlier, so I've been listening to it there, and it's amazing, it's phenomenal. So all those recommendations, from me to you, that's what I recommend. But hey, it's your free audiobook. I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't want to tell you how to live your life. Anyway, this entire apartment is packed, except for this room. So I need to get to work. Mockingjay!